There is right now the political crisis that is neither here nor there. Hopefully they get to sort out the Supreme Court issues today, but we don't know how that is going to pan out for either party. There is this crisis led to the burning down of the House of Assembly, which he had to bring down to build from the scratch. This crisis right now, we don't know if we have a state assembly or not, which means that the lawmaking arm of the state is neither here nor there. With court cases littered everywhere, with the level of insecurity, we have policemen abducting people from Rivers State into other states and bringing them back and extorting money, abducting surveillance, pipeline surveillance. There are too many things going. We have in this state, a DPO was killed. Back until today, in this state, the governor was attacked. I'm not saying that the British people shouldn't come in, but how typical is this, considering all of these inadequacies playing out before us?
First of all, the purpose of this visit is to secure what they already have here.
Okay.
It's not because they want to invest. We are the one that telling them add investments. It's up to them to consider it, but these are the indices they will have to look at to consider whether they're going to do that investment or not. They have to look at, in fact, he even mentioned the security challenge we have in Rivers State, which is already a mess nationwide. It's not about Rivers State now. Every state in Nigeria is porous when it comes to security issues. But here is the thing. What is the investment they have? And like I said, the purpose of the visit is to protect the investment they have. But I think that Rivers State government should be looking beyond investment issues to be very specific to the areas of investment we need. Because right now, we are entirely a consuming state. It's not going to help us. We don't have very strong agriculture. You have to be specific. If you want them to come into the agriculture, you also look at the kind of product we're looking at. And I always say, go for the product that the average Nigerian consumes daily and expand on those areas. Because you're telling them to invest. What if they choose to come and invest in NEPA? Sorry, PhD. Of what benefit would that be to the economy general? You have to be very strategic about your requests so that they don't choose whatever sector they like. They already have investment in the oil and gas. They may decide to still push into the oil and gas. Meanwhile, we are not looking at investors in those areas. We needed more investors around the pharmaceutical, the health sector, but need investment in agriculture. We also need very strong investment around the educational sector, because what we have at the state level is basically the only thing we can hold hand is our universities.
Right.
Yeah, but there is more to education. There's more where we look at research institutions that can carry out very strong forensic research. We don't have it here in Rivers State. If you even go further, you also look at other very sensitive institutions that foreign bodies can come in and provide. For instance, the kind of medical test you want to carry out, you have to push it out to Lagos or sometimes fly the entire specimen out of Nigeria. Doesn't make sense. These are very strong areas where you can be specific and say, we need this kind of institutions here. Can you come in and provide a facility, including manpower? But of course, the laws of Nigeria will come in to be sure that employment strata takes into cognizance local content and employment. So these are the areas. I don't like a blanket check like this, because it's not going to give us any results as much. As for the issue of security, the governor of Rivers State, I want to believe that he's still being careful because he's not sure of what his position is with respect. But at the end of the Supreme Court decision, you will be able to say, okay, now I am sure that I'm the Ogakpata of them also. Let me take decisions. And I will tell him again, go back to your predecessor, Amechi Rotimi. He met this state in an absolute mess. And he was able to take very strong security decisions that made even the toughest of the tough to stay away from Rivers State or come in and get caught. We had surveillance cameras, we have security cameras, we had police officers that were trained to do the work in a way that no matter where you are, they can fish you out. So he has to go back to Amechi. I don't care. I don't like when it comes to security issues, politics should be set aside. Go back to the person who got it right and see if you can get some of the strategies, the people he met, bring them back into the system and let us have a good security.
All right, thank you.
It's not just, when you say when it comes to politics, it's not just politics for me. We must give it to Sim. right? He went back to the Songhai farms and is talking about rehabilitation.
Yes.
If it has worked,
And several other
if it
projects
has
that was
worked,
just tomatoes.
find out why it worked. Find out how it worked. You know, and let me try to be a bit judicious. Maybe they are not giving us, of course, this does not give us all the details of the conversations the governor had with the British commissioner in Nigeria. But then again, the British High Commissioner has come out clearly to say, we are here to enhance the security status of our investments. And that's what it is. And without mincing words, do you think, Comrade, let me ask you, do you think that the British government will be willing to just come invest in any sector? Well, I have my thoughts on that, but let's just come and invest in any sector without necessarily having direct benefits from that sector. Now let me tell you where I got that from. You know, the barrister is talking about agriculture, and in your agriculture, investing in staples, foods and products that Nigerians readily consume. And I see the sense in that because we're looking at reducing the cost of food in the local market. But then again, how much of that local market will benefit the British government or the British state? And why do you think the British government should invest in that direction? That's just an example when I talk about investing without necessarily getting direct benefit.
I think in international gatherings, many or if not all of African nations are called developing nations. And when nations gather, the developing nations go there with their hands on their head, pleading for assistance. And when these assistance are being released, the countries that release these monies for them in the name of grants and all, they do not have any benefits, so to speak, on surface. You understand? To benefit. So at the end of the day, they just release these monies to assist these ailing countries to see to it that they can get on their feet and start running if that is in any way possible. And I want to believe that to a large extent, that is another one of such a discourse that the governor is having with the British High Commissioner. Because like you rightly observed, there is no specification to what area of investment that the River State government wants the British government or the British High Commissioner to inform his government to come and invest in. That's to say, it's a blanket thing. If today, for any reason, peradventure, the British government had passed into law the use of cannabis in their country as good for mental persons and health issues, now that is what the British government wants to invest in all other countries they want to invest right now.
What now happens to
now
NDLA?
What happens to NDLA and the Rivers people? So what we're saying is, to a large extent, like I would like to toe your line that the news or the report we are having is not in its entirety complete. There should be some very serious issues that were kept out of our knowledge.
Yeah, because it was a closed door meeting.
It's a closed door meeting. So I think we're having scratches here and there. If not for that, if we want to look at it on the surface value or the surface level, it is obvious that another weakness to governance from my own viewpoint, because we do not have real clear-cut directions to say this is what we want to do. And I will want to clearly or consciously disagree slightly with my barrister. He's my friend. I respect him a lot. He knows that. But I will not want a situation where we'll be talking about serious issues of this nature and we are referencing people that are all in the bandwagon of a line that have completely maligned this country in the name of affiliations. Let us see what these persons who have been saddled responsibility to lead us can do differently. I can tell you for free. You see people running among this nation calling themselves barristers, sand, what have you. People running among this nation calling themselves professors of engineering, professors of agriculture, professors of law. And as a matter of fact, this country is in comatose. Nothing is functionally working.